Hello, and welcome to the Drive Home Podcast, the podcast where I'm the only one who needs to wear a seatbelt. And today is a special day, kind of, in the way that my schedule and everything that's going on around me is screwed up. And it all started yesterday. So if you can't tell, the vehicle sounds different. You might not have heard it, but there's not any beeping going on. Beeping that would be warning me that there's something wrong. And the reason for that is because I'm not driving my vehicle today. And the story for that starts yesterday. But first of all, thank you all for joining me again. And today, long story short, I went to work at 10 and I got out at 4. Today is Friday, so I'm supposed to have dinner with my grandparents tonight, but I don't know if I'll make it exactly tonight because of the story. Well, the true story I will soon tell. Anyway, I had a good day at work. It was fine. Everyone has some online stuff that we need to catch up, online tutorial junk that they give us every once in a while and don't tell us about, and we're only supposed to do it at work. But I swear, I don't understand it. It's fine though. I'm gonna need to get my password reset probably, but I should be fine. Anyway, to the story. So yesterday was Thursday, which for me is payday. And yesterday I didn't have to work, which is why there's no video about yesterday. And because the way my bank works, they don't deposit my checks on the weekend. And so I decided to go, and what I usually do if I don't work on Thursday is I will go into work on Thursday, snag my check, maybe snag some food, and then I'll go home. And that's like a 40-minute drive, and yeah, I probably could make a video, or a podcast episode, but I don't want to. That should be reserved exclusively for when I'm leaving work after a day's work. Or other events that may or may not happen ever. Who knows? I don't. Anyway. So, as usual, I got my check, and before I got my check, it's not normal of me, but this time, and I'm happy for it because I don't have to go back inside after. But I bought a blueberry milk because my work sells those. It's from some local farm type place. I say local. In the next I don't know. They get it from somewhere within the next 3 hours from here, probably. So. And I actually really like blueberry milk. There's a place that used to sell blueberry milk near where I live, and they also used to sell banana milk, but they stopped stocking it, which sucked. So I couldn't find it for a long time. And then Oakhurst did it for a little bit, but I think they stopped. Or they just switched containers, and that's what I'm drinking it out of now. Anyway, I got that, and I got some other stuff. Some food or whatever. So I wasn't doing anything that day, and I didn't have much to eat at home, and I didn't want to go back out once I got something. And this was all about at 1. So I get back in my car at about 1 after I did all of my shopping and grabbed my check. It wasn't much. It was maybe $8 because I got some candy as well. Some candy and some blueberry muffins. I kind of like blueberries. So, I get back in my car, And I'm sitting in my car waiting for it to cool down a bit before I go anywhere. So hopefully the steering wheel will stop burning my hands. And my car isn't that good when it comes to like air conditioning and stuff. It's really old, and I think there was an animal inside of the, like, you know how cars have the fans and stuff that pump out air and stuff? I think there was something in there at some point before I got this car, because when I started using the air, like foam chunks would come out, like tiny foam chunks, and it hasn't stopped. It's quite annoying, and a lot of them are just so tiny it's like hard to like grab at, but just generally it's annoying. And this didn't really have anything to do with what happened, I don't think, but it just means my car gets colder slower. So I had it on, full blast, crank the fan up all the way, put the cold on as cold as it'll go, and I was sitting there in my car scrolling, doom scrolling, I guess, while I was waiting for that to happen. And lo and behold, not 10 minutes after I had started doing that, my radiator broke. More specifically, there was a radiator flange or something, which, if you're like a mechanic or something, you know what I'm talking about. And if you're not a mechanic, you probably don't. But I'm also not a mechanic, but my family is, so I got lucky with that. But so basically, white smoke, more or less, started coming out of my car, and something else that happened that I couldn't really tell as I was inside my car is, I believe the radiator fluid was coming out like the front and bottom of my car, or where the engine is, more or less, and was leaking onto the ground. So, as soon as it started smoking, I turned off my car. I didn't get out, which might have been stupid, as if you see something smoking, you should probably get out. But I figured, since it wasn't like black smoke, it was fine. Because if it was black smoke, that's like that's like something's on fire kind of smoke. If it's white smoke, I'm assuming it's chemical based or something. I don't know. It's hard to say. That's probably the only reason I didn't like instantly jump out of my car, because I had no idea what was going on. So I called up my mother, because she was the closest to me at the time, as she works right near where we live. And she was like, "Oh no, I'll call my dad," which is my grandfather, because he's a mechanic. And my dad is also a mechanic, and so both of my grandfathers, I believe my great-grandfather, and my uncle on my mother's side, mechanics. Might have gone over that at some point, but I don't remember. So anyway, lots of mechanics. Those are only the ones that are like directly related that I know of. So there could be more. Anyway, so I instantly turned off my car, which is the best thing I could have done, I think, at the time. And then called my mother. She hung up. She called my grandfather. He wasn't much help at the time. I don't know why. Maybe he was doing something or busy. I don't know. He's in retirement, but he's always doing something, so. And then so my mother called her boyfriend, who is not a mechanic, but he's a sheriff. And so he came to pick me up from work, because my mother was at work and he had a day off, or I think he has the week off or something. I think he got like a surgery or right now his knee is really bad or something. I don't know the specifics. So he came to pick me up. Like I think he's in recovery from something. I don't know. he came to pick me up, and he also helped me take a look at my car. And as we were looking at my car, we figured out, because I was going to check, but it was extremely hot. So I don't know how they all work, but to open up the hood of my car, there's like a latch at the very front after you pop the hood, so to speak. And it was really hot right there, as it was a sunny day, and it had just basically sort of exploded, or well, something broke on the inside anyway, and gas had come out. Well, yeah, so it was either gas or steam. So he ended up helping me discover that there was this flange that was part of the radiator that was broken, and supposedly it was just a flange, though he's not a mechanic. So he said if you could just get a replacement piece for that, it would be fine. And he told me to take some pictures and send them to my dad, because my dad's an actual mechanic, and as I've stated previously, he's helped me out before. Because apparently now every month is a new problem or two with my car. So, and since it's kind of awkward to talk to my dad, and my dad's really old school. He's less of a texting like, I think only 2 years ago or so, he got he got a personal phone that had a touch screen. Like, before that, he had a flip phone. And he could take pictures on it, and he could text people, and he could call people. And he was happy with that. But I don't know, like one or two, like, and I don't know, he's great. Like, I honestly feel like if he really wanted to buy something, he could pay for it in full. One time there was this issue that he had trying to buy like a snowplow or something, like a relatively expensive snowplow from Home Depot, and the reason he couldn't buy it is because he had to use his credit card to buy it, and his credit card company didn't believe it was him because he hadn't bought anything on his credit card for like 7 years, which is incredible. Like, and he was good for the money. He could pay it off. He just wanted to use his credit card so it didn't instantly hit his account. And so I don't remember if he ended up getting it or not, but it was just, the whole thing was really funny. And back to my main point. So I was supposed to call my dad, and I waited to get home for that, and my mother's boyfriend told me to take some pictures of it and send it to my dad, and I did. And so I sent pictures, and I called him up, and he basically said that with the symptoms I gave him, that it was probably, the whole thing was going to be busted and I needed a new one. So, and this was spur of the moment kind of thing. Like I was sitting in my car, and all of a sudden, like, pretty much, like, explosion sound, but not really. I can't remember. People have been asking me if there was a sound, and I honestly can't remember. I was just shocked that it had happened. I was more focused on the visual than the audio, and I just kind of blanked out on that. So, but it seemed so. I was lucky because I was lazy. So keep this in mind, all you people who are lazy like me. It's not wrong to be lazy at certain times. You just gotta know when's the right time and when's the wrong time, apparently. Or just get lucky with it, like I did. But anyway, so I talked to my dad. He said that he would look into getting me a radiator, which I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like that sounds like something expensive. And apparently they're not super expensive, or at least the one for my car isn't, which is nice. But I don't know. Like he's such a good dad. And I still feel like that's bragging to a certain extent, because I know a lot of people either don't have like great dads or don't like know their dads, or their dads are jerks or something. But I have a really good family, honestly. So I got really lucky in the role of life that is birth circumstances, I guess. Probably where I use all my luck, because most of my life has been a series of unfortunate events. Well, I mean, obviously, like this is my second car in like 2 years, basically. My first car I got a year and a half ago, and that lasted about half a year. And so I think 3 months from now or so will be like the 1 year anniversary of me having my current car. And I've already had a lot of issues with it. I just hope it lasts. So to the long story short, later that day, like I communicated with my mother and stuff about it, and she has AAA, so when she got out of work, 'cause apparently she has to be there, she picked me up, and we went back to my car, and she called AAA. They showed up, and the guy was really nice. He's kind of funny too. So my car is a Jeep, and so you know what? And so he had this joke. So, and I'm gonna paraphrase it as best as possible, or phrase it as I think I know what he said, but well, now I'm trying to remember. But he was funny, and he was really cool about it, because it was kind of late in the day. But and so he said something like, so you know what Jeep stands for? And I said no, and he was like, it stands for just empty every pocket, which is basically you're gonna have to put a lot of money into your Jeep, I guess, which was really funny considering past events. But long story short, my car is at my house, and my dad is going to come over this afternoon and help me he's going to assist me in putting in a new radiator, so that should be fun. Anyway, I just got home, and I'm in my mother's truck, so I have to get out of it. So thank you all for listening to this episode of the Drive Home Podcast. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.